Each month, our organization hosts various webinars for business owners to help you expand your business during these unprecedented times here at Small Business University. So really what we do is begins with community outreach. We offer a number of different services from financial management, business planning and management, marketing, and even energy efficient business. You can go ahead and sign up for any or all of these services by scanning this QR code below. You can just point your camera phone at it and press and hold, and it should take you directly to our sign up portal. So that's going to be available to you. And as well, we really want you to take advantage of all the features on Zoom here. So if you have any questions or any suggestions, definitely put them in the chat box. Ask questions as they come. So we'll definitely be sure to cover every question that you have. Moving forward, our speaker here today, Michael is from Arista Advisors, and he's a very talented advisor. So he really knows what he's talking about here this month on Grow Your List, Grow Your Business. So you're more than welcome to connect with him at that phone number there, or even that email. And we'll have some more time to talk near the end for networking and things. So definitely subscribe on our YouTube. We have all of these webinars being uploaded to YouTube. So it's a really good resource for business owners. Just after this webinar is over, we'll probably send you a link directly visible on YouTube so you can watch this webinar at any time as well. So you can get to our YouTube by, again, scanning that QR code. So just go ahead and scan it if you're interested, but I'll also be placing a link in the chat so you can access all of these resources in one easy place if you didn't get enough time to scan it. And yeah, that was all that I really had. So I'll hand it over back to Michael.
Thank you, Victoria. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the other side of Easter. And if you've been in business long, then you know it's also Q2. April kicks off. And a year ago, do you remember where you were at a year ago? We were all wondering if the world was ending and what was next. I'm happy to report I got back safely from Texas about 2 weeks ago, and there's every sign across this country that we are coming out of the COVID economy and rapidly moving into a post-COVID economy. So I know you could be in a lot of different places today, but I appreciate that you took some time to join us. One of the mantras that I've lived by with my association with Constant Contact for the last decade has been to grow your list and grow your business. And so this notion today, while seemingly simple on the surface, and I promise you the time's going to go by very quickly, you will get a copy of the presentation. But I'm going to ask, let's see, I've got Connie, Eric, Jennifer, Megan, Susan, and Richie, in addition to our presenters, and we probably will have others that will join us. Take a moment and go over to the chat box now and put your contact information in there, because grow your list, grow your business at its most fundamental level is about expanding your reach, increasing your influence with other businesses and with other people, obviously, right? The more people that know you, that know your organization, know about you, the more likely that you'll be able to get referrals and additional business and support. If you're a nonprofit agency, support is very, very important. So again, go over to the chat box. I think you all know how to use that. And at this point, I'm going to do a share screen and ask for confirmation that we're all seeing the same thing. So do we have a full screen view of my PowerPoint okay, Victoria? Or Brian?
Yep, looks good.
Very good. All right. All right. So again, strap on. This will be an e-ride ticket if you're old enough to remember that. What that means is I tend to talk quickly. I cover a lot of ground. But there are going to be innumerable opportunities for you to continue the conversation. And I encourage you to do that, both with the other participants in the room, certainly with Fresno State. There's an enormous amount of small business resources for you there at the University Support Department. So reach out to them. And certainly I encourage you to contact me. Victoria mentioned we have another presentation in just 2 weeks. Many of these are designed to complement one another or piggyback, meaning in a perfect world, I could lobotomize all of you, open your head and pour this information in, but you probably wouldn't want to get it that way. You need time to process it. So what we'll cover today will also be supported and revealed in more greater breadth and depth when we cover social media success. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge our new sponsors here. So thank you to the Tulare Chamber of Commerce and SoCal Gas for their partial underwriting. You also see Blue Tech Valley and Berkeley Law and the Pie Shop all have joined to help us bring this content to you and to support small business and minority business in our community. You are the economic engine in the state of California. More than 95% of business in the state of California is driven by small business. So I hope you'll join us again. You can sign up today, as Victoria said, or go to the links. And please share the links and this program with others. We want to talk about engagement. That is the big word. If you only write 3 words on your piece of paper today, one of them should be engagement. Using email to engage people is essential. It's not supposed to be a paper towel roll of solicitations. And sadly, if you've had a bad experience with it, either using it yourself or receiving it, and I will say virtually all of us have received unsolicited email that just is a giant bunch of flyers, right? You wouldn't want them on your doorstep. You don't like them in your mailbox. You wouldn't want them stuck to your car windshield every time you come out of the store. So email can and should do 2 key things. One is to engage the customer. That means it's or your supporters. It's a dialogue tool. And the other is to keep you top of mind. This notion of a drip system. We all know, right? We all know the best way to develop business is via referral. And so how do you get those precious referrals is that you stay top of mind. So when the customer is ready to support you, to purchase from you, then they can find you easily. And so we're going to cover these topics and more. Here's our agenda today. Just 3 simple points, but as I said, it's disarmingly effective. One is to emphasize a permission-based list. The second is to entice people. This is what most of my clients struggle with. And third is how these constant contact sign-up tools work to help you accomplish those goals. This is me, and as I said, if you'd like to connect, you can go to my website, you can send me a text, you can also email me at any time. In fact, I will encourage you that there is a demo section of the constant contact tools, and I can't take the time to go into that today, otherwise we'd have a 90-minute workshop instead of a 60-minute session today. So reach out if you'd like to get a specific demo, and I'll happy to connect with you at a later date. We'll just schedule that. You can send me an email to michael@arista-advisors.com. So let's talk about building a permission-based list. Why is this important? Why do we need people's permission? The number one thing I heard for decades, especially if you've been in business more than 10 or 15 years, was, where do I buy these lists? I don't want you to buy these lists. You can't. I mean, you can, but I don't want you to for a number of reasons, not the least of which is it's against the spam laws to just be sending people things out. A second is we want to talk about how to entice. That's much better, right? If we enter into a covenant talking to people about here's what's in it for you, then that's better for you and better for the client. And they're probably going to stay longer. And then we want to talk about these tools. So I want you to take a moment. This next screen, every one of us have seen this, right? Your inbox, if you have Outlook or Gmail, looks something very much like this. What was your reaction when you got an unsolicited email, something you didn't ask for, right? Just like when you look in your regular mailbox and you see that junk mail, it's the first thing you do, you throw it out, right? But would you open something like this with an attachment? Probably not. I wouldn't. It's tough enough. We hope that the spam or junk mail file filters these out, but still we know that unsolicited emails pop up in there. I don't know who AutoMojo is. There's all sorts of problems with this. There's an attachment that might have some kind of problems with it. So we want to be very cautious about this. And the way to get around that, or to avoid being looked at as spam, is to get permission. There are, as I said, spam laws that have been around since the late 80s at this point, that were initially enacted to protect consumers and other businesses from unsolicited faxes. And those same spam laws now apply to email. There's hundreds and even thousands of dollars worth of fines. So again, the word I use is covenant. That is the promise that if you want to get permission from people, not only do you need to engage them, but you need to give them some content that is going to be valuable and relevant. Those are the other two words. So what will this covenant entail? This permission request? I promise to send you an email once a month. That's the most common, or maybe once a week. But I also promise that it will be valuable and it will be relevant. And if you'll give me permission, then I promise that I won't send you just junk that you don't want or spam. So again, think about the last time you signed up now, not unsigned up or didn't sign up, but when you signed up. Think about that. What was that like? How did you come to that decision? How did someone ask you to sign up for an email? Do you remember? Here are some common categories that might help you think about how you decided or how someone approached you to sign up for their list. One of the most effective, I think, is in person. When we had chamber mixers a year ago, networking events, we swapped business cards. I've encouraged my sales team to do this for decades. Thank you for your card. This is fascinating. By the way, I noticed your email is there. Would it be all right if I included you on my VIP list? Sure. More than 80% of people will say sure. But we can't always have that conversation. Sometimes that in-person could be over the phone, especially during COVID, right? So if you're having what I think is a minimum 10 to 20 phone call conversations with clients and prospects per day, you have 10 to 20 at-bats, 10 to 20 opportunities to ask people in person for permission to be added to your email list. And then certainly there's online, and we'll show you some tools about how you can use those. And I'm sure you've seen those. And then of course there's print. And not surprisingly enough, with COVID, many people have found, especially for nonprofit and government agencies, that print has been very effective again. People are using direct mail because we still don't have these large networking events, right? So 3 different categories, 3 opportunities for you to have list growth. In person, again, the most logical is right at the moment that they're making a purchase. They're at your cash register, right? Or you're signing a document. Would it be all right to add you to our VIP list? You'll see these on a form potentially right at the moment that you're making a purchase. Whenever you're helping someone, maybe they're in the aisle or you're again on the phone, a customer service call is a great opportunity to help someone. And by the way, I wanted to make sure that it was okay, or that we updated, or have your current. That's my favorite. I just want to make sure I have your current email list. The data tells us 18 months to 2 years, people change their email. Is that you? Every 18 months to 2 years. Why would people do that? Well, they're tired of spam. And so do you have, or do we have your most updated email list so that you can continue to get our valuable offers, our monthly tips and strategies? Certainly, again, at events, events are returning. We're going to be socially distant, but you have to program this into yourself, as well as to your sales team, your marketing team, the customer service people that are out there in the field. I know we have some folks here from the insurance industry. There are going to be events, certainly a few this year, but we should probably be back to a full event system by 2022. Change your behaviors now. Make sure that you are taking every opportunity. And whenever possible, use an app. These apps are increasingly effective to text, right? 22828 will get you my email added to my email list, as an example. I want to remind you the power of print. If you have a leave behind flyer or brochure, even signage at your location. When people walk in, you've probably seen this at, my gosh, Trader Joe's. Maybe you have a Sprouts by you. When you walk in the door, the first thing, of course, is wash your hands and put your mask on. But the second, right behind that, is all these major retailers have gotten aware that they want to remind people we are now able to serve you via our app. So make sure that you sign up, and frequently, just like Victoria did today, you can scan something right there at the door. Do you have signage at the door that lets people know that they can get or enjoy a special relationship with you if they sign up for your VIP email list? Certainly on your business cards, maybe not on the front, but I would definitely encourage you to consider putting something on the back. The QR readers are getting better. And again, whether you like it or not, due to COVID, people have become more conditioned to do business virtually. They've been forced to move into technology and to click and join and order food and et cetera, et cetera. So on your business card, I've already mentioned flyers, brochures, and the power of direct mail now. Maybe it's just simply a link. If you know how to create these bit.lys, Brian and his team have done a great job with managing these webinars and using shortened URLs, right, to sign up. And you can do the same thing on your flyers and brochures that may be direct mailed or maybe printed, and you don't want a really long URL to join your list. And as I mentioned previously, don't forget that you can use text to sign up, text to join. One of the great constant contact tools, and again, I'm happy to demo these for you personally, is the text to sign up. You'll be assigned a 5-digit number that is unique. Did I say that right? 6 digits. And it's unique to you and or your business. And then people would sign up, so you could just give them those 5 digits. And then, of course, the most likely right now, if you're not meeting people, if you don't have a bricks and mortar business, is that you may be investing a lot of money or have already done so on your website or online on your Facebook or other places. So don't forget the power of your website. I see some of you, I would estimate something between 20 and maybe 25% of websites have a sign up form for their newsletter. They'll have an intake or a place for a customer to ask a question for help, but they won't have someplace on the website or places, because we don't know where those search engines are going to drop you when you are looking for something, right? So I encourage my clients to make sure that there is a sign up form on every page of their website. It might be a pop-up, or it might simply be a space up at the top of that website where people can quickly and easily see that they can engage with you. They can have a better relationship. And if we incentivize them, save 10% off. You've seen this, right? Especially more during COVID. Save 10 or 15 or 20% off your next purchase if you'll join our email list. Certainly on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, again, Twitter, Instagram, there's all sorts of opportunities for you to embed that request because you're trying to grow your list. When you grow your list, you grow your influence. When you grow your influence, you have more people talking about you and your business. And that's what social media is all about. It's about people talking about you. That's how you become more influential and you generate more referrals. Certainly in your email signature, if any of you have ever received an email from me, or again, if you schedule a demo or a follow-up conversation, there's no charge. Our generous sponsors and supporters, including Mid-Valley Promotions, have been very good to us. And so we want to make sure that we give you the resources you want. So reach out, email me, and when you get my email back, you'll see in my signature how easy it is. It says, let's talk, yeah, right? And join my subscription, my email newsletter each month. And online purchases or donations. I want to emphasize again, we have many government agencies and nonprofits. In fact, over 750,000 users on Constant Contact just in the United States alone, North America. And so these online forms and links are a great opportunity for you to expand. You may not get an immediate purchase now, but it enables you to drip this information about your value and your ability to help people, right? Some people are at different times of year are looking for donations. And again, many people are looking for purchases. They're just not ready to purchase. But it's a very logical thing. Thanks for buying today. Can we add you to the email list? It's a little checkbox. I know you've all seen it. Thank you for your donation. And can we add you to the email list today? Most people would say, well, I already collected their email. Why do I have to ask them? And it's because of that covenant, right? Permission-based email to prevent people from opting out, from claiming that you're spam. I made a one-time purchase. I don't want to have ongoing emails. It's not usually a problem as long as the emails aren't a constant solicitation. That means you're trying to take more value from the relationship than you're giving. You're not providing that relevant and valuable information that improves the quality of life for those clients and customers and donors. You're just always asking for a sale. That's the biggest pivot point that you can make in asking people to join. Where do we go? There we go. So back to the agenda here. How to entice people to sign up. And let's think about this. I've talked to you about some of these points, but I want to put a finer point on them, right? You know that if you're shopping, as I said, that it's great to find that product or that service, but it's even better if when you land on the site, you can get 5% or 10% off, or maybe a free add-on, or maybe free shipping. So make sure that you consider the opportunity to provide additional value. When people are, again, showing support for you, that's an important time. And exclusive content, I've talked about this repeatedly now today already. Exclusive content, not all your content has to be created by you, but your ability to curate, that means to collect it and to put a more clear reason why it's important to your customers. That's what's really important. Exclusive content that comes from your organization, your thoughts maybe on someone else's content or articles. What is this risk? There is always risk, right? People are afraid. So what are some of these concerns when people are signing up for email? It's the frequency. Are you going to be hitting me every day or every week? Just a month or two ago, I signed up for a wine list. Some of you might be fans. You know, there's all sorts of these companies now that are getting wines from all over California and boxing them up and sending them to you. But the next thing I find out is no sooner do I get the list and I'm getting an email every day. So make sure that you disclose that and make sure that you address people's privacy concerns. We're not going to share that list. That needs to be very direct. Many of these things you can mention at the time that they sign up, but I encourage you to also print it in your content or in your sources, and certainly opt out. If you use the constant contact system, please know that once someone opts out of your list, they can't be emailed in the future. So here again, this covenant of I promise to provide you with valuable and relevant information, but people do want to make sure they can opt out. Here's an organization, an animal rescue, and here you can see a pop-up. I'm sure all of you are familiar with this. This is one that is created. You might be asking yourself, well, I wouldn't know how to create this, right? It's on the website. This is something that is a template. It's built into the constant contact system. You don't have to know anything about HTML or programming or building websites. Simply having access to your website, username and password, you'd be able to put together a very simple form. And here you can see that the animal rescue says sign up to receive a free adoption guide. So we know that people that are looking at animal rescues are considering adoption, and we make it really easy for them just by giving a little box for their email. Notice also that we are specific here. It's going to be a monthly email. And what are you going to get that's valuable? You'll learn about our animals, our events, and our volunteer opportunities. And the feel good here is together we're going to find forever homes for our animal friends. All that sounds really good, doesn't it? Sounds good to me. In fact, I got a 7-year-old rescue dog. I never got an invitation to join the email list. I don't know that the rescue I used had an email list at the time. But remember, what I don't want you to do is ask to join our mailing list. Why would I say that? Has anyone ever asked you, isn't that what I just said earlier? Did I say ask people to join? The reason is most of us get a little worried, and that's not the vernacular that we want to hear. Join our mailing list. What we do want to do is make sure that we are asking for permission to send them value. Can I add you to our list so that you can get our discounts? Can I add you to our list so that you can get exclusive content or access to resources, right? Another good example, a discount or promotion. If you'll let me do it today, I can give you an additional 15% off on your next purchase. That's a bounce back for those of you in retail. It also goes on to be very explicit. No more than 2 emails a month. Doesn't say every month you'll get 2, but every other week to me is tolerable. I don't know that I want one once a week from my cycling company. Here again, whoops, I think I went backwards for our adoption guide. Here we go. Here's French consulting. So for those of you that are business services on the line, you might be saying, well, discounts are great, but what in heaven's name would I offer? Well, this is a consulting service, right? I'm not sure what French is offering, but as far as consulting, are they consulting in French? But again, intellectual property, get an exclusive access to our ebook, right? An ebook It's a buzzword now. 10 essential steps. The ebook could be 10 pages, one page with each step, right? To growing your business on social media. So French Consulting is apparently a social media business related. In the future, you'll receive no more than 3 emails a month. So again, they've been very specific, and notice the form, easily created by Constant Contact, quickly attached. You don't have to think about it. It's not going to create any headaches. It's something that you can have on your website in a matter of minutes. Bonuses. Don't forget about the opportunity here. We have a case study that I've seen when people like my spa clients have had things going on like X number of purchases, right? So research is another that you may give them access to, or a toolkit. Any number of these things can be valuable for professional services when people are looking for that additional value. Online workshops or events. For years, when my clients would sign up for the 90 days of Constant Contact trial, I would give them free access to my next event. And those would be exclusive events that people would frequently pay $100 or $200 to attend. So if you're interested in how that would apply to you, talk to me afterwards. There are landing pages that we've talked about in previous workshops here, and I won't go into a lot of details, but let me just suffice to say, if you're not familiar with a landing page, it's like a mini website, right? So you could have a landing page, a mini website page, a single page on the internet without the headache of creating a full website, and you could use this page to create and share unique offers. It could also be something that would entice your subscribers. You can share that landing page bonus on your website or on a blog or in social media. You can also make sure it's synced into your Constant Contact accounts. What that means is whenever someone clicks over here on this download coupon, it automatically takes them into your Constant Contact account for future emails, so you don't have to manually add them, first name, last name, phone number, email address. That's bare minimum, ideally. And if you're business to business, like our insurance companies, then you'd also want to probably get the title and the name of the business. Social campaigns are increasingly important. I have clients, as I mentioned, in Texas. They hire, as is common or increasingly more common, outsourced people to manage their social media. So let's say this club, this bar and restaurant has what you would anticipate, right? Specials, promotions, pictures of food, pictures of football games, soccer games. It's a sports bar, right? And activities. And they're posting these on social media. But you're losing the real opportunity, and that is to take advantage of people that want to increase the relationship, meaning they're seeing your social media pictures, but you're not necessarily engaging them to continue the dialogue. Another way to say that is if they like something on social media, it doesn't mean that they're going to see the next 4, 5, 6 posts. It simply means that they saw it and liked it today. On the other hand, you have the capacity to put a little ad or commercial right in Constant Contact. That link would take people back to the cloud. You can run the video, and at the end, they could join your list or learn about a class. Certainly you get to find others, lookalikes, people that are sharing the same behaviors or interests, and that helps you create funnels or targeted marketing for other marketing activities. And this notion again of getting the right people. One of my clients again mentioned that as COVID has changed the landscape and the amount of face-to-face interaction, they have to do a better job now of targeting this new customer. Up here on top, you see we have young, old, injured, or pregnant. Yoga has amazing benefits. So we don't know which one of those four things that somebody might be interested in at Half Moon Yoga Studio. But when they click on this, they would have the opportunity to choose when they sign up, which am I doing this because I'm old and want to stay flexible? Am I doing interested in yoga because I would like to help myself through my pregnancy or recover from an injury, et cetera, et cetera. It helps you target by allowing your customers to tell you what their special interests and needs are. This is Southside Cycle. And again, a special offer on what's coming up next. So you can enter that email address is what it says here and get exclusive access to still more discounts. I think we saw this one. Here's two verticals examples, right? So here's the delivery welcome, an email campaign that went out. Whoops, I think I just lost that. Sorry, guys. An email campaign that went out prior, and then an email campaign that went out as a follow-up. We're coming around the point here, and I want to talk to you about some sign-up tools. So the best way for me to do this, because we have so many different businesses on the call today, is to remind you to use my email or the phone number, reach out and let me show you the tools that work specifically for your industry best. Not all tools, right? It's a toolbox. You don't need every single tool, but I do encourage you to take the time. Let me show you some examples here of just again what we've talked about, and then I want to open up the lines for a few minutes so that we can get people's feedback about what they're doing and why it's not working. I know most of you are here because you've tried this in the past and it hasn't worked for you, or you're intrepid about launching a program and not having it work well. So number one importance is that you simply need to ask, but you need to ask in a fashion that suggests that there is value. So number two is to be sure to show value in the ask, remind them of what those offers are, of how they're going to get relevant and valuable information each month or twice a month or 3 times a month, and then get into your website and online sources with some type of pop-up form is very, very important. All of your online marketing needs can be found in one place. The system I've described to you today, Constant Contact, is probably one of the oldest digital marketing providers in the United States. They started out with email, but like many businesses during COVID, they have continued to expand over the last 2-3 years. And now you can build a website right within the Constant Contact suite. We're not talking about hundreds or thousands of dollars. I'm talking about, I think it's $45 a month for this online marketing system. And you can do email, you can build your website and manage it directly. If you're a DIY person, you can control and manage, create your social media ads and get management and metrics. Metrics are so important. I know for small business people, we are taxed. We don't need 10 more hours of stuff to do. This system enables you in less than 2 or 3 hours a month to regularly send out emails, to have a website that can be a repository or a place for you to put your valuable offers on the internet, and to collect regular data and manage your social media effectiveness. So few people, in my opinion, in the last 25 years, are doing social media to the extent that they're getting good bang for their buck. They're not getting anything but $400 or $500 a month, and they're getting pretty pictures and postings, and occasionally people like and or love, right? They like or love, but they're not really getting the real return on investment that they can, and that's because these things are not being integrated and managed. If you are like many small businesses, or maybe you're on the line today because you're a startup business, you need a new logo. I've shared with everyone today how important it is as we emerge post-COVID to help our clients reconnect, our customers reconnect with us and rebuild the organization. So if your website hasn't been rebuilt, or you haven't dusted off your email newsletter, or your social media is marginally returning, a new logo is a way for you to rebrand and tell your clients about this new exciting business that you have either created or recreated. And then finally, this notion of e-commerce. Again, if you're a restaurant and you've survived the last 12 months, you have moved to online sales. You're not going back. People all over the United States, according to a recent National Restaurant Association poll in April, indicated that more than 85% of the population wants to return to live dining, but another 53% said that they would be just as content with continuing to order online for the foreseeable future. Well, the only way that that's going to happen is that you have to have an e-commerce component to your business. You have to enable people to make payments to you. Even if you're a professional service business, they want to pay their bill. They don't want to find an envelope or a stamp. They don't want to have to drive down to your business. Everyone is much, much more comfortable. So all of this can be found in one place for you for less than $45 a month. I'd like to open up the phones now, and or at least the lines, and engage with some of you. What are your concerns? What has worked for you, and what hasn't worked for you in the past with your email campaigns? And how can we provide more value to you today? You're welcome to go ahead and text your question into the box, if you like, over on the right. Connie, your line is open. Did you have a question? Or Eric?
I was just wanting to ask, do you have recommendations as far as which companies to use that offers the email, website, social ads, the logos, like everything together?
Well, as I said, this presentation was created by Constant Contact. I've been a hired gun for them for over a decade. I partnered with them, of all the companies, Connie, that I researched over 10, 12 years ago now. I partnered with them specifically because of their educational component. I think that for a lot of people, technology can either be overwhelming, right? If you're remind me, Connie, you're in insurance, right? Did I lose you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So would you consider yourself a people person?
Yes, I do consider myself a people person.
Yeah. So, you know, in my experience in 25 years, persons can be challenged. Your skill set, your gifts, your talents are in meeting people, making them feel comfortable, understanding their problems, understanding their needs, and then making recommendations and then helping them, right? So the technology aspects, while Constant Contact is an easy system to use, it may not come to you immediately or as a second nature. And so having a company that will educate and provide an 800 number, for example, which Constant Contact does, there are videos on there. And then there are experts like myself that also can help you. So I think For me, as I said, I've been a partner with them for 10 years. I'm what they call a platinum solution provider. I have clients across the US that use the system. I haven't seen anything better for the dollar value. So that would be my endorsement of them. There are others that are free out there, and I'm sure many of you know those or maybe have tried them. But I want you to consider that getting something for nothing that doesn't achieve your goals or gives you a poor return on your investment is not what you should be looking for. Every business person ideally should be looking for, if I invest a nickel, I want to get 50 cents or $1 back, not I invest nothing and I get a penny, right? And that's been my attitude for 20 years, Connie. Invest a nickel and look for 50 cents or $1. Does that make sense? Your microphone's off, so.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah. And like I said, if you'd like to have a personal demo of the system, I'm happy to do that for you, Connie. Did you have any other questions related to that?
No, that was
Have you or your company used an email or digital marketing system previously?
they do use a digital marketing system, but that marketing system only does social media. It does not do email or websites or logos or anything, just does the social media ads.
Yeah. So, again, you heard my spiel or position. I think social media is a tool, but you can't control it, right, Connie? I mean, we can put stuff. Let's go backwards. Has it been 8 years? I can't recall. Anybody out there shout out 6 years, 8 years since Facebook offered their IPO. That was an initial public offering. That meant they went from free, and when I say free, I mean that if you started a garage business and you had 5,000 fans on Facebook and you posted on your Facebook page, all 5,000 people saw your announcement. And a lot of small businesses were built up that way. But once the initial public offering was done, within a matter of months, they kinked the hose, right? What do I mean by that? Well, we were all kids. We kinked the hose, right? We cut off some of that water, that power behind it. And so immediately, instead of reaching all 5,000 people, you were lucky to reach 1 in 5, 20%. That was done intentionally because Facebook wanted you to buy boosted ads. That's not a bad thing. It's just that it's no longer as effective. 1. 2, people now everyone wasn't seeing your posts. 3, a year later, Connie, Facebook did it again. And this time the current statistics are something between 1 and 5 out of 15. So 1 out of every 15 of your customers, 1 out of every 15 of your fans on Facebook, the algorithms are now being seen, or they're only seeing those ads or those posts that you're doing. So the bottom line here is you cannot control social media. You don't know what they're going to do next. You don't know what the algorithm's going to do. You can control your list, right? Grow your list, grow your business, grow your influence. Make sure that you put out a quality product on email each week or month, and you'll be golden. It looks like I have a question from Jennifer. Jennifer, you want to open up your mic and go ahead there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I use Constant Contact regularly. We're sitting at somewhere over 30,000 contacts in there, and with multiple email lists. And one thing that I'm starting to find is that I love Constant Contact. I love like the tools that you've gone over, use them regularly. But I find that they have a global opt-out. So in my case, my trade show. I have I have my exhibitors in there. But I also sometimes need to send them their people in the area. They might want to come to an event that our facility is starting to host again. And we also, for example, yesterday we sent out a notice that, hey, folks in Tulare County, sent it specifically to my Tulare County list, my staff list, and then my volunteers. And there's a lot of crossover there, and unintentionally, because I'm messaging 3 very different things, I've hit people multiple times with things they may not fully be expecting from my organization. Is there a way, and I've tried to play with this and even gone into the help section on constant contact, but how do I avoid there being a global opt-out and losing access to that person somewhere where they need to be, but still share information they might want to see? And I really work hard not to add them to a list that they haven't asked for. I just struggle to find a good way to keep on the list they need to be in instead of losing them entirely. If that makes sense.
I think so. Let me try to pull this apart. And again,
Yeah.
You sound like a more sophisticated or experienced user. So Jennifer, who are you with? You're with a county agency, a government?
No, I work at the International Agri Center. So we do World Ag Expo, and then we're also an event center. So we rent our facility, and the county does have 2 different vaccine clinics happening.
All right. Got it. I got it. All right. So I want to tip my hat to you on two counts. One is thank you for being a constant contact user. And for those of us that are new in this environment today, many people are obviously, that's probably a staggering number, right? 30,000 people. So that's enviable. And one of the facts that should not be lost is that this is a West Coast. Actually, this webinar that today was offered across the U.S. for people that could get into it. And again, there'll be more that'll watch. But Tulare, that's one of the largest ag shows in the world. So you do have, in fact, a global market out of Tulare, California that you're managing. And it sounds like you've been managing the list for years. So, I talked briefly about segmentation, and I heard lists from you. So when's the last time you pruned your list? You actively reached out and asked people to re-engage. COVID has been a terrible, difficult thing because people, they stopped going to the office. I don't know if you've heard this, but 55,000 people moved out of the state of California in the last 12 months. 59,000 moved in, but all things being equal, in the history of the United States, more people are now working at home than prior to the Industrial Revolution. That should be a mindset. So with that, many of your email lists have gone fallow, and still others, as people start to emerge post-COVID, they're coming back in the office, they're seeing all this stuff, right? And they're like, I don't want to be on that. I keep getting all these. So I think it's the time to realize that while you have achieved this significant pinnacle, 30,000 addresses, that at the core of every address and all this fabulous technology is a human being. There is a relationship. We need to peel the onion back and realize what people are going through. So my advice would be to begin to prune those lists, go through and solicit them, but not sending out your stuff, right? But in fact, asking them, have you tried that in the last 6 months or a year? Have you sent out the list and saying, we're updating our list?
Yep. I haven't done that specifically. So that's a very good, thank you for that. I will say that I do prune the list. Actually was working on it before this call, because we did, send some stuff out, and that's my constant concern is that there are people that just aren't engaged anymore. That email doesn't exist. So I'm very religious about going through and taking off those people that are bouncing back, that their auto reply says they no longer work there anymore.
Yeah.
I've got to get them out. So I'm still staying in good standing with Constant Contact, and I hit as many people as possible, but I also stay relevant for them. So I think, yeah, sending it back out saying, hey, we have you on this list. Is this really what you want to get from us? Here's the type of thing you're going to get. And we do, to be clear, we use, like you mentioned, I would encourage everybody to, if you're looking for an email system, I love Constant Contact, and I love that you have those landing pages. So on mine, I'm really asking for the minimal amount of information so people are willing to give it to you, and letting them know the type of things they're going to get and who they're going to come from. And we did a digital show in February, had over 700 exhibitors. So of course we had lots of attendees. We grew our list significantly, but there's always turnover in emails, and there's always a change in what they want to see. So I definitely will be adding a send to just figure that out, because I want to get people segmented and even have them know what lists they might be on and what they might receive from us.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point that, again, some people may not be familiar with. So this notion of bounces is that is a non-deliverable. And within the management system, you're given a lot of information about why they bounced, right? Or they're not deliverable. That's one form of pruning. But the one I'm talking about now is at the core of a post-COVID economy strategy, which is to reconnect with people, even if you have to do the laborious task of picking up the silly phone. So we couldn't do that with all 30,000 people, but my rule of thumb has been to follow Pareto's principle, Pareto, and that is that some small percentage, 10 or 20% of your 30,000 list, if they were all valid, is disproportionately valuable to the activities of the International Ag Center. And so now we're talking about a few hundred people that we need to reach out to by phone, maybe by snail mail, and say how essential this is that we get this. What additional information, that would be the other point that I didn't want to lose. What additional information, not just are you still wanting to be on the list, but how could you provide more value? Maybe a contest, maybe something fun right now. People just need fun in their lives, and get them to think differently about the Ag Center. I imagine, again, that, many people in that industry looked forward to seeing you. The spectacle of going to Tulare, California. It's a what, 4-day, 5-day event?
3-day.
3-day, yeah. And so that spectacle was lost. So what could you provide them that might be exciting and re-energizing? I'd like to do this for you, Jen. I just realized I'm looking at the clock here.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. Let's connect via email. You have my email, and I'd like to move you onto my console and give you some special privileges if you'd like to explore that. Because I do see that you've got some unique challenges ahead of you, and it would probably be best if we continued this conversation after the session. So let's do that. I don't have time for many more questions or any more questions at this point, out of respect for everyone's time commitment today, but I'm particularly grateful to our sponsors again, and our oldest underwriter, Mid-Valley Promotions. I'd like to send all of you a gift. Mid-Valley Promotions made these beautiful sunglass and eyeglass wipers. And so if you'd like to put your mailing address, that's right, I said it, mailing address, into the chat box, I'd love to send you one. They're beautiful. You can use it to keep your phones clean. If you'd like to take advantage of this Constant Contact system that I don't know how much we're paying Jennifer for the endorsement, but thank you. I do think it's been an extraordinary 10 years together with them, and they're offering, if you'd like to try this out, Connie, for 3 months, 30% on the first 3 months. There's no contract after that. You can sign up today, just cut and paste that link, or call me and I'll help you get signed up and moving down the path to success. This is me. And I'm very grateful again to all of you for your interest. And I encourage you one really important thing. Ask yourself today, before you get off this call, what is it? What is it I'm going to do differently as a result of our time together? Don't try to come up with 10 or 20 things, just one new thing. Maybe you need to schedule an appointment with me. Maybe you need to just do the trial for 90 days. I don't know what it is, but do one new thing, and that will make all the difference for you in your business going forward. I am absolutely positively confident that business is returning, and it's happening faster and faster. And most of my small businesses and organizations aren't going to be prepared if they don't do something today. So I thank all of you and encourage you to keep moving forward, be safe, and be positive. I'll turn this back to you, Victoria, and to Brian. Thank you both.
We'll send out any last remarks through an email, so we'll be in contact. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye now.
Bye-bye.